Gordon, can we just first of all get your thoughts on the thinking behind the two squads?
Well, I've been a player myself and a manager. At this time of year, it's not an easy period because you're usually going for a championship or a relegation battle, and training becomes a bit more difficult. So the whole squad is about the player, not so much the Scotland manager or the other club, but I'm hoping it benefits the other club as well. What's best for the player? I thought there could be nothing worse than I'm naming a 27-man squad and I take these guys to 2 games and they're away from home and away for training for 9 days and maybe they'll only get 5 minutes or not get a game at all. So I thought, right, okay, we'll cut the squads down, have 2 squads, and the squads, everybody will get involved. Everybody hopefully will get on the pitch. We can train longer because after the first game we will be training the next again day with the next squad. So I think that would be a benefit to all the players, and that means they're only away from home for 4 nights, I think, and that's beneficial because the player likes to relax and be with the family as well. I think there's nothing worse if you've been away for 10 days and you go home to your wife with 3 kids and go, hey, what was the point you going? You only had 5 minutes. So that can be stressful. So what we're doing is make sure they get 4 days and they'll have a week's rest before they join us, or a week's rest, or maybe 8 days to some people, most people, after they leave us. So I think it's beneficial for the player. The upside as well, it gives me a chance to look at more players in a training environment, because as I say, if we played 1 game, we have a 2 days recovery period, then it's 2 wasted days. I want to have the players in after we play on the Thursday, and I want to start training again with a new group on the Friday, so we can start working at systems and let the younger players see what we've been doing for the last couple of years, and can we add to that and make us better. So it's all about the player and what's best for the player at this moment of time. And as I say, but the benefits is us being able to train the players more near a maximum.
In terms of the players who's coming in, I think it's 6 who haven't been in a squad before. Was it always your intention to cast the net far and wide at this point?
In November, after I watched under 21s, I had an idea who I was going to call in. But then from November on, there's players in there that I didn't have in my vision. But they threw themselves in front of me. No, literally. Yeah, that'd be silly. I went to watch them, and they've done enough to say, come on and let's have a look at you.
You have always been fairly pragmatic about what's coming through. Should we be excited by the players who are coming through?
Only time will tell. They're given the opportunity. It's like the club should give them the opportunity, and if they excite the clubs, then it'll excite us. So the guys that are in there have excited their managers, their coaches, their fans. So hopefully they can excite us. But there's different levels of progression. Some are late developers, some are early developers. But do you say to me, is there superstars in there? No. I don't know. I don't think so. But can we turn them into superstars? That's up to the clubs they play for. Can we help them on the way? Yep, we can do that. But as I said, I don't think we can when we get them in the squad, turn them into wonderful from an ordinary player into a superstar. I don't think that happens. You have to make yourself that superstar.
What's the criteria for you to become a Scotland player?
Simplest one, you have to be able to pass the ball and control it. And people will laugh at that, but good players make that look simple. And when you go to many clubs, it's he puts in a great shift. Yeah, well, anybody can put in a great shift. Usually great shift guys are the ones that chase after the ball after they're giving it away. So that's a criteria. Can they work in a system? Can they work with players? Can they give themselves up for the team? That's another one. All that. Can they understand, have an intellect that they can understand what we're trying to do? Can they mingle with other players? All these kind of things. But basics, I would like, because there's different sorts of fitnesses, because we can't make them all the same. They're all different levels of fitness. Can we have a team who can pass, can control, who have 100% fitness? That would be fantastic for me. Can I have players who can beat people? I need that as well. It's big in the modern game. Everybody forgets. So you guys are with your youth teams are taking under 8s, under 9s, please don't shout at them to kick it, get rid of it, shove it, boot it out the pitch. Tell them to take people on and protect it. That would be lovely. Be a nice change.
What is it about Kieran Tierney you think merited his call-up? He's a player that hasn't played for the under-21 yet.
He's good. Yeah, the pathway, you make your own pathway in football. Ketchianya was different. He was a bit later, he went to Glen Hoddle School. Matt Ritchie went around a few clubs before, so you make your own pathway to the here. You'll get walls put in front of you as a football player all through your career. Don't make that as an excuse for anything and stalling. Knock the walls down, and that's what the young man has done. That's what Anya's done. That's what Ritchie's done. That's what Snodgrass has done. And it's character building, because you need character. Because when you go on that pitch out there, your character's tested. It doesn't matter how many tattoos you've got, what colour of boots you've got, what your hairstyle looks like, how many cars you've got, how many wives you've got. Your character's tested on that pitch. You're bare out there. So we need people with character as well.
As always with...
Did I say wives? That's girlfriends.
As always with squad announcements, there will be players that are disappointed.
I might have been thinking about somebody in particular there, weren't I? Sorry.
There will always be players that are disappointed that haven't
Yeah.
included, and I suppose maybe this time will feel even more disappointed because it is a larger...
Yeah, well, again, to look after the players, there's the groups who try to play one game. So that's looking after a player and making sure he gets plenty of rest. There's another group who are going to be involved in 2 squads. Again, that's got to help the player because they players are guys that are not getting games at their clubs at the moment. So it's beneficial for them, especially, and it'll also be beneficial. The feedback I get for the clubs, that's a good idea because he needs games. Fine. There's another group that you could, Jordan, Ross McCormack, Johnny Russell, Lee Wallace, the guys that I know can do a job. But there's no point in bringing them along and depressing them by taking them all around Europe and maybe not getting a game because I want to see the other guys that are brought on, or maybe playing 5 minutes. I don't think that'd be beneficial for them. So there's a group, there could be a 10 in there, that they know, I know what they can do, but I need to see what other people can do. So there is 3 groups, 3 types of player.
Does Graham Shinnie fall into that group?
Graham, I know what Graham can do. Yeah. I know what Mark Reynolds can do. So we could go on here a long time. I know I can trust these guys. They know that. They've been in, they've been involved in the squads. I know what they can do. I can trust them. But I must look to see if there's anything out there better. And players understand that.
You've opened up the squad to have a look at a few different players. Does that make the result for these 2 games almost secondary to the
No. Oh, no. No. Part of the... whatever you think about football, winning is the most important thing. You have to have that. So you can also play in games where you get beat, but when you walk away as a manager, you go, yes, I like what I seen tonight. I liked us as a group. I liked individuals. So you can sometimes get benefits, but winning is what you want to try and do.
With the qualifiers upcoming, does this feel like a bit of a start of a new cycle, a new year, new players?
I suppose it does, yeah. But let's get it right that I have over the last 3 years I've had people putting in some tremendous performances, and I'll reiterate, I only feel we didn't keep the standards in one game. If we can change and make sure that one game becomes a win, we will qualify for the next World Cup. So the guys that don't think that these guys are going to, these guys that I had over the period of 3 years have done a fantastic job for us, including people like Sean Maloney. You know that. When Sean's here, he's the best example, there's a couple of lads like that, how an international player should play, train and behave. You know, so all these guys are still momentum, and if younger guys all around the country don't come to the standard, I've not got a problem with going with the same guys again.
Was John McGinn's call-up specifically a result of your time with the under-21s? Was
Yeah.
that where he impressed you most?
Yeah. I didn't take any training, I just watched. Yeah.
And what will he bring to the squad?
His drive, his strength, his ability, his humility, his teamwork. I've watched that from afar. So he deserves that.
You talk about pathways, different journeys players have.
Yeah.
Tony Watts had a few different experiences and his career so far. What is it about him in the last few months?
Well, Tony's a bit different from most Scottish players. I think we lack maybe in core strength our younger Scottish players are even further up. But Tony is physically strong, and Tony's gets stronger when he runs. He's got this ability when he runs. He's strong. He can hand people off, and he can make goals. If you watch Scotland over the last couple of years, we score goals after 8-9 passes. It's hard work that, you know. Tony, I think you can throw a ball up to Tony at his best, and he can beat two people and stick it in the back of the net. So we need something like that, because most international teams have players that change them from being decent into very good. Lewandowski, we had him in our squad, we'd be the European Championship. Bale, we'd have him. Ibrahimovic in Sweden, he makes them go up a level. So we're looking for players, and it might not be Tony, but can we develop players, one or two players like him that can take us from being a right good, decent side to being a smashing side.
You had you played quite a few times under 21s, but you missed out on a few squads for them. Have you seen an improvement in, him as a person in the last few months, given all he's had to, or the different places he's had to go?
It's been a few places. I think few people have said the same thing to him. But he has an ability, and it's up to him where he wants to go with that ability. If you have that ability, it's up to you where you want to take it. It's not up to anybody else. You make yourself into a player. You determine where you go in life. But he has that ability to go at a very high level.
In terms of what you were saying earlier about the recognised squad, if you like, you don't see this then as the beginning of the sort of changing of the guard, if you like, or is that still...
Only players can change it. Only players can change it. Only players can change this. And if they don't come up to standards, then I've not got a problem. If you say a team of Hutton, Martin, Hanley, Robertson, Morrison, MacArthur, Brown, Maloney, Ritchie, Snodgrass, Fletcher, I've not got a problem with that, and I don't think anybody should. They'll give us the same again, but a bit more experience. They have to keep themselves fit, obviously. But that team was one performance away being in the Euros. So no. It's entirely up to him. I don't care whether you're 35 or 15. You'll get in the squad if you're good enough.
Were a few of the Rangers guys close?
I've like what I've seen. But like Lee Wallace, he's unfortunate. We have a lot of left-sided players that are doing very well at the moment. But again, Lee's one of them. We know that he can do a job. But the guys there, Tierney and Robertson, have been doing very well. I want to see them more often. That's it.
Robert Snodgrass is back in the squad as well. There were reports that you held talks with Steve Bruce over his injury situation.
Don't really talk. We met for about 90 minutes during the game and just laughed our way through it.
Was he happy enough with him being called up to the squad?
He's delighted, yeah. I don't think having an ex-teammate have discussions, just sit and we end up laughing about playing at Man United, and Snoddy got mentioned somewhere on there, and it's no problem.
How big a boost is it to have someone like Robert Snodgrass back?
Well, listen, he's good. I think if you speak to Brucey about him, Brucey is delighted he's there. He's changed the dynamics of the team and the dressing room. He's brilliant. So we're looking forward to him being there. But you've got to remember that when he wasn't there, we had fantastic performances with some of the players who played in his position. So we dealt with him to a certain point, but we'll love having them back. Brown
and Hutton look likely to enter the Hall of Fame, 50 caps. You did that yourself. How big an achievement is that?
Me getting the 50 caps or them?
Them.
Well, I've joined the ranks of some right good players, haven't I? And me.
Are you excited about the prospect of a realistic title challenge this year, Gordon, in Scotland?
There is one on, as far as I was concerned. Yeah, there is one on, which is good. It's good for us. It's good for us as supporters, journalists, critics. Keeps us all talking, and well done, Aberdeen. You keep it going. It's fantastic.
You think you can go all the way?
I have no idea. I'm not a pundit at this moment.
If you were a pundit.
Oh, you'd have to pay me.